name is Kadeesha Williams. I am a farmer and activist, and I used to be the community horticulturist / agriculturist for the New York Botanical Garden. And I left because I wanted to pursue a career in farming. I actually have a history in urban agriculture. Both my parents and my grandfather come from farming backgrounds. Like a lot of immigrant families and people who had come up from the South who migrated north, there are ways of life that you could be a part of when you live in the countryside. And it was really difficult here. And in addition to like there not being obviously fresh fruits and vegetables all around you, there was violence. So my grandfather and my parents, along with some community members, with the support of the city, the Parks Department, and with organizations and institutions like the New York Botanical Garden, worked together to start a community garden in the Highbridge section of the Bronx, which is where I live. And it's called Taqua Community Farm. This space basically created a way for my development of interest in this work. At NYBG, over the course of the time there, I got to know a lot of people and I learned a lot. When the pandemic happened, we were all trying to figure out a way to continue to engage the people, the community that we were working with. We made this transition to like digital content, which was the first time I'd ever done anything like that, but also a lot of fun. I spent that whole year in Taqua basically growing stuff production style. Part of that was as a component of the program introduced through Bronx Green Up, the Bronx Food Hub project. And I realized the thing that makes me happy is growing food and giving it to people. The pandemic gave a lot of people cause for pause and a moment to like reassess things. It was likely that I would go into rural farming because that's what I'm interested in. But of course I had no clue how to do that. And I'd never intended to just like drop off and like do it. It was always in my mind, like when you retire, you can buy a land and do farmstead stuff. As I was like doing all this with my friends in 2020 and kind of figuring out that maybe actually it's possible to do the thing that I dream about now. I realized that the next stage in the work that I want to do is strengthening this pipeline for people to get to rural agriculture or to get to a place where they can do the things for their communities and friends and family that make them happy. So that's kind of like what Iridescent Earth is. Iridescent Earth is the current collective that I'm a part of. And our mission, our vision, our values is centering marginalized queer voices in the work that we do, which is to serve the communities that we are from, that we are a part of, and the communities that surround the farms that we steward and maintain. Over the course of the next 3 years, myself and my 2 colleagues will develop a program that provides a model asset map that basically says, here's what you need in your community so that this could be popping. We also want to share the urban to rural continuum or constellation, looking at programs offered in New York City that offer agricultural training from pre-K all the way up until they get out of college or they decide to forego that and basically are like, I want to farm. Once they get to that point, we say, cool, incubate with us. We're going to support you. We're going to give you land. We'll use our tools and material, and we're going to walk you through how to do a business plan. And we're going to walk you through how to become an LLC. Basically provide like all the support that we've been given this whole time so that more people can get up here and do this work too. Because it is joyous. It is grounding. It is fantastic and magical. And I just think that more people deserve to be a part of that. I know that my experience in life as a Black woman does not mirror everyone's experience. When I talk about my journey, at least in Blackness, I've gone from like completely denying that. I was so ashamed of who I really was until I was an adult and I realized the systemic oppression of a people, the systemic erasure of a people has really made it so we don't want to be ourselves. And I'm really like super stoked and excited for all of the social change that has happened over my lifetime, because I literally went from like denying who I was to being so proud of who I am and centering who I am in the work that I'm doing. The reason we use the language to uplift the most marginalized voices is because this work is intersectional. And we know that ultimately that comes down to often queer Black women or Black queer people. So Iridescent Earth focuses specifically on BIPOC queer people with an emphasis on Black queer women in this work. And there's a lot of them that we've been working with, and there's a lot of them that want to get into this. So I do think it's important for each of us in our own existence as a part of Iridescent Earth Collective to strive and support the people that have lifted us, but also strive and support the people that come from our communities that look like us and who are like us. I'm not the only Black queer face, but I'm stoked to be a face. And I hope that my presence in this work, my face in this work, inspires other Black women, other queer women, other queer people, other Black people to get into this.